we really need, and correct me if I'm wrong, we really need a good NFL quarterback that has at least one arm sleeve tattoo.
Yeah, 100%.
It doesn't. I can't think of one.
100%.
Am I missing an obvious?
Well, it's going to be Mateer.
It's going to be Mateer.
It's going to be Mateer.
By the way, Lamar Jackson, the greatest quarterback of all time, that is tatted up.
Where did that come from?
I said we really need more like quarterbacks to succeed that have full sleeves.
You're saying
I didn't want to forget.
When you said sleeve, I thought you meant like a shooter sleeve. You mean a tattoo sleeve?
Yeah, I mean like Carson Beck's got like the full double.
Yeah,
Lamar's tatted up, but really, there's not a lot of guys.
What we really need is Bo Nix.
Yes, Bo Nix needs an arm sleeve.
Bo Nix needs a multi-layered tat sleeve that like tells his entire football journey on his arm. Like it's different, the struggles at Auburn, the redemption at Oregon, and now like rising with the Broncos, running across the field.
You might have cooked. Let's see if he goes for it.
Let's see if
Something tells me Bo Nix is not going to be into that.
Bell, the NFL Stock Exchange podcast. Trevor Sikkema, Connor Rogers here for the first Stock Watch episode of the 2025 college football season and 2026 NFL draft cycle. Connor, how you doing today, my friend?
I'm good, man. It was fun to have some college tape to watch for the sake of the draft and look at some players that kind of jumped off in the true week one. And we're going to do something a little different this year where we're always going to bring back that players where their stock is trending up or down. We are going to try to bring a new name. That is something we've done on Stock Watch episodes in the past, which was fun because it was a way to kind of keep growing our draft database. Hey, we didn't watch this guy over the summer. It's the first time he jumped out to me. But Trevor, with how wide open and the volume of this quarterback class,
yes,
we are going to try to talk about the quarterback class in its entirety almost week after week. And it's the best way to keep up with who's moving ahead, and the mock drafts will help with that, but this is kind of a more wide open discussion.
And of course, we want to hear from you guys as well. Something new that we're going to start on Stock Watch, I tweeted it out from the NFLSC account, is, hey, shout out some guys that you noticed. Because I don't know about you, but it felt good to watch college football, have the laptop out, be like, ooh, all right, this guy's having a good game. Let me write him down. Make sure on Monday and Tuesday I get to the film of this person to see if they are the right kind of draft prospect to bring to the show, or maybe, okay, all right, I'm going to wait around. I'm going to see a little bit more. But you mentioned the structure of what we're going to have moving forward. We're going to talk about the quarterback carousel because it is so wide open this year. We're each going to bring 3 prospects to the Stock Watch portion of it, so either a stock up or a stock down, and then that new player that we are going to bring to it. I'm not going to bury the lead, okay? And I'm going to let the good people know.
Oh, yeah.
The hats are back. The hats
lovely.
are back, baby. Let me see if I can, dude. So these are new hats. We're working with new manufacturers on this one, and because of that, we're able to sell these hats for $35 this time around, which we're excited about. They're a little bit different than the ones that people got last time, but I'm really excited about these. These are the same style of hat, but they've got a little bit different of a material to them, and we're just super excited about it. So if you guys go to the Shopify link, which we will try to put in the show description, we'll tweet it out as well, where you guys can see that. And let me see it. Can I share the screen properly? I don't know if I can. Nope, it's in a different browser. Okay, all right, I'm good at the internet. It's on nflscshow.myshopify.com. Now, we don't have the flat brim hats. We ordered a lot more hats than we did last time, but because of that, we ordered in bulk the 2 that were in the highest demand, and that was the curved brim, white and black hats. So the 2 that I was holding up in my hand, those are the 2 that you guys have. You could check them out. There's a cool little at NFL Stock Exchange thing that's on the inside of the hat, which we really enjoyed being able to customize them a little bit more this time around. So if you did not get a hat previously, now's your chance.
Or if you want a second color.
Or if you want a second color, there it is for you. We'll take the money. It's fine. We'll do it.
Dude, you and me figuring out how to break even on these hats.
Don't bring it up.
I'm telling you, it would have been its own episode. Trevor and I should not be running a business. But we are, by accident.
We should strictly be talking football,
yes,
and we should have somebody else handle the business side of things for us. But you guys have been clamoring for merch for so long. We're powering through. We're making sure that we get it to you guys, and we're excited to sell these hats again to you once again. So again, NFLSEshow.myshopify.com. And once again, guys, I appreciate you having patience with us the first time around with the hats and everything. And there's still a couple of you that I'm going back and forth on with the previous hats. But the way that I'm going to do this, because I have to ship all these hats myself. The most free day that I have in the week is Friday. And so I am going to be sending the hats out on Fridays. So that means that if you order a hat on Friday afternoon, Friday evening, Saturday, I'm not going to be able to ship it until Friday. I promise I will get to all of them, and we respond to the customer emails with NFLSEshow@gmail.com if you need to get a hold of us for whatever reason. But that's the timeline there. So just letting you guys know, that's sort of how it's going. If you don't have your hat for like a week and a half and then you remember like, oh, shoot, I ordered it on a Friday night, that's why. I'm not holding out on you. I promise I want everybody to get their hats in good time. But yes, the hats are up there. If you still want one, if you still need one, that's where you can get it. All right, let's dig into it. Quarterback carousel. We got a lot of guys that we got to talk about here on today's show. There's a lot of quarterbacks that we talked about during summer scouting. If you guys missed the quarterback summer scouting episode, you can go back and listen to that. We're going to reference sort of that as we talk, some of that as we talk about these quarterbacks here, but Connor, I'll let you kick it off. We've got, you had like 3 quarterbacks that I wasn't even going to talk about. So I have 3 or 4 as well. So I know we're going to touch on a lot of these guys after week 1 of college football, which of course, is the be all end all. The guys are not going to get any better or worse. What we saw this past Saturday is exactly who they're going to be in the NFL, no matter how long their career is. So let's make some final declarations on these players. What quarterback do you want to bring up to the table first to get us started?
I mean, I do want to start with Mateer because of how excited I've been about him. And, I understand the level of competition for a lot of these guys and these openers is always, not always, sorry, Arch Manning, but is usually a little bit of a warm-up. And Oklahoma really put it on Illinois State. And, Mateer, though, what you look for in these games is not necessarily the stats or how much they blew him out by, but the big-time throws, some of the traits that really pop. And with Mateer, and he's going to have an opportunity to do it on a much higher scale against Michigan, that's going to be a big test. But you got to see some of the arm talent that really popped out over the summer. And now, when he was at Washington State. And now at transferring at Oklahoma, it's going to be a bigger stage for him, playing in the SEC. Obviously, there's big expectations for Oklahoma. Trevor, I just liked how he challenged the defense down the field. There's multiple examples of him, even when his guy didn't have a step, but the coverage had their back turned to him. Hey, I have the arm talent to drive this ball outside the numbers. I'm going to throw it there and let my guy make a play. So Mateer is just a lot of fun to watch, and he has an opportunity in front of him this year to find himself in the first round, right? I don't know if I'm there yet right now, and to be fair, I'm kind of trying to take it really slow with a lot of these guys before cementing them there, because there's a lot of reasons to be excited about LaNorris Sellers and Drew Aller and a lot of these different players, but it's going to be a little bit of a slower build. We'll talk about some other, at least one quarterback that I do think is firmly in the first round, but I think what you look for with Mateer since he transferred is the traits on display, and it's a great start for him week 1 against a lower level of competition. If he beats Michigan this weekend, I think that the hype train's going to leave the station.
Yeah, this is where the season really starts this upcoming week with him taking on Michigan. 81.7 passing grade this past week for Mateer. He was 30 of 38, had almost 400 yards passing, had those 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. What was the big time throws for him?
3.
Three big time throws, 2 turnover-worthy plays for him. Average time to throw 2.54. So this guy was getting the ball out of his hands quick. And
I like his release a lot.
I mean, it is a lightning quick release, and when you pair that with being able to recognize things pre-snap, boy, you can have a pretty fast offense, especially got a touchdown with my guy Deion Burks. So anytime you got that kind of speed and getting the ball in his hands pretty quickly, I think good things are going to happen for this Oklahoma offense. So very excited to see them against Michigan because I do agree. He was fun to watch this weekend, but it really is a matter of him just going up against legit NFL competition. And we'll see that with some of the players on Michigan's defense and then certainly through the SEC schedule as well. I'll stay in the SEC. Taylen Green, from Arkansas. Whew. I get it. They're playing Arkansas Pine Bluff. Video game numbers, man. Crazy stuff from him. 94.1 overall grade from Taylen Green. 93.6 passing grade. He had 6 passing touchdowns, 2 big-time throws, 0 turnover-worthy plays on the day. He had a 73.5 rushing grade as well. When you watch the tape, I'll get to some of what I still need to see from him in a second, but he is dripping with NFL-level talent. He is an NFL-level athlete at the quarterback position. He is one of those guys that, as long as his accuracy and consistency is just at a certain base level, he's going to get drafted. Now, again, it's a matter of sort of how high at this point, but how he moves, how he runs, how explosive he is, the dual threat ability that he has, and then if you were putting together passing performances like the ones that we saw this past weekend, or anything even close to it against more legit NFL competition, the NFL is going to get really in on this guy because of the tools that he has. Now, the reason why I was lower on Taylen Green coming into the season, and some concerns that I still had for him watching the Arkansas Pine Bluff tape, is the fundamentals aren't always there for him. And what I don't like about Taylen Green right now is that it feels like every throw is a little different. On some throws, He might not be finishing it. He might be kind of like flicking it like Queen Ewers kind of does, where the hand just stays up and it goes across the body, but it kind of stays up. He doesn't come through the body. It's not like a full throwing motion. It's just sort of this like quick stop. Sometimes he does come through all the way through the body, but you can almost see like his leg kick out, like he's a pitcher, or his lower body just is not in sync with his upper body as he is throwing the football. And because of that, you see maybe not overall accuracy issues, but ball placement issues. True ball placement, guys, is different than overall accuracy. So certainly adjusted completion percentage is better than just completion percentage, but true ball placement, you really have to watch these guys, and you've got to see these throws, and you've got to see these NFL opportunities where guys might be a little bit covered, and it's those consistent fundamentals. It's that consistent muscle memory that gets you to have the ball placement that you need to attack tight windows at the NFL level. So Taylen Green, you saw exactly why people in the NFL realm are going to talk about this guy from a rushing and a passing perspective. But I also still saw the things that worried me in last year's tape that are still there for him this year. And with them still existing, I wonder how much better it's going to get this upcoming season. We might just have to watch him from a talent perspective and then just think, hey, let's fix up the throwing motion in the first couple years of his rookie contract when he's in the NFL. So a lot of people are going to talk about Taylen Green because he's a very, very exciting player, but that is sort of the good and the bad of how I saw his day and how I see him as a prospect.
I was glad you texted me about him because this is somebody that I haven't had a ton of eyes on yet, but he's played a lot of football, man. I mean, he was a multi-year starter at Boise State. This is now his second year starting for Arkansas. He's a fifth-year player, so this is a real opportunity for him. Like we've seen a lot of fifth-year senior quarterbacks in the past take advantage of that and put themselves on the map as a legitimate prospect. So, and I saw, getting a look at him in this opener is getting a look at him this weekend. I got to see a lot of what you saw is just consistency. Like it's at his size, physically, there's moments where you're really, really impressed. But like you said, mechanically, can you have repeatable plays? Kind of is what you're looking for.
Yes,
and that's something that if he can find that the second half of this year or down the stretch and take that into the All-Star game process, I think teams will really, really kind of be more bullish on him going into the draft. So a guy now that I don't have a strong feeling on, but I have an eye on to see what he could do with this opportunity because he's played so much football.
Who's next for you?
So next for me, I want to talk about LaNorris Sellers because
somebody had to do it.
Somebody has to do it, right?
Yeah.
And it's interesting with LaNorris Sellers because
future Jets quarterback. So it
really feels that way.
It's very fitting that you're talking about him. So yeah, go off, King.
It really does feel like Justin Fields, who's under contract the following year, will start with Sellers behind him. They run the same offense. But in all seriousness, with Sellers, you got to see the exact highs and lows we talked about over summer scouting with Sellers. He had one big-time throw that was a bomb in the fourth quarter for a touchdown where, in terms of arm strength, pretty limitless, this guy. I mean, yes. It looked like the Nerf Howler. I always said that about Michael Penix. That Sellers throw, you could hear the football screaming as it was in the air and dropped right into the bucket. He has, obviously scrambling ability. Like, he looks like a freight train and just runs people over. But I didn't love the 4 sacks that he took on 26 dropbacks in this game. And to be fair, not all of them are created equal. The first one, the safety, that's just what you don't want to see as you're expecting these prospects to grow, right?
Right. He can't do that. You cannot.
He can't do it.
You can't step up like that in that situation. I get it. Football's a fast game. It's a bang bang thing. But like, you got to know, you have to throw to the feet of whoever is hot for you. You have to be able to do that.
He went through his first read, which was on the left side, and then he worked off of it. And as soon as he worked off of it, he had a little out route from the slot that he could have threw. The guy would have been open on it was drawn up the right way. And if he wasn't comfortable throwing that, just airmail it to the sideline in that situation because you're in the pocket. Instead, and Sellers is so gifted that gifted guys fall into these habits. He legitimately tucked it to run. If you're going to scramble, that's okay because you can keep your eyes up, and then if you have the pressure coming, you could just throw it away. He tucked it like I am running right now, and he paid the price. And not to nitpick one play, because once again, he did a lot of great things in this game, that deep ball, the touchdown run. But then, I thought, to be fair, the last sack, he didn't stand a chance. The pressure was in his face right away. But you look at the other two, it's just kind of the case of holding on to the football. And the second one was a strip sack, which always scares you. The average time to throw for him in this game was 3.25 seconds. That is a little high. You like the number to start with a 2 for everybody out there. You don't want it to start with a 3. So this is LaNorris Sellers, and you would like to see the dangerous plays like the safety and the other sack that he got stripped on. You'd like to see those kind of quiet down over the year while he can maintain the splash plays that he has, where he is a runner that could score at any moment, and he's a deep ball thrower that can hit the deep one at any moment. So that's what I'm watching with the LaNorris Sellers. It just felt like more of the highs and the lows, and how do we get this guy to have less of the lows?
Yeah, and you talked about nitpicking him right now, but unfortunately, fair or not, that's kind of what we have to do, because we're not talking about a Taylen Green day 3 prospect. We're talking about somebody who we took number 2 overall in the mock draft episode that we just did on Monday. So you kind of have to nitpick them, especially when you are comparing him versus Garrett Nussmeier, Drew Aller, like guys that we're going to think are potential number 1 overall picks, or even just QB1 in a draft class. So I think that all matters with Sellers. I did like what I saw from him. Obviously, I like the big time throw. The sacks, of course, he's got to clean that up. But man, he showed another example of the strength that he has to shrug off defensive linemen and linebackers who are trying to sack him. I mean, those plays alone might get him drafted in the second round at very worst.
They will.
From a coach, They
will. So, Sellers can make no improvements this season, be the exact guy he was week 1 the entire year, and I think he'll go in the top 50. It's just a matter, like you said, Trevor, this conversation is, how does this guy cement himself as a top 5 pick?
Yep. Excited to see him moving forward, because it's nice. This is a duh, but it's nice to start the year off with a win, right? Nobody knows exactly what their team is going to be until you kick the ball off for the season to start. So, like Alabama, I'm sure Alabama was feeling high and mighty because they're Alabama. They're very talented. Now, all of a sudden, Florida State punches them in the mouth. And it's like, as that game slowly went on, you could see Florida State just getting more and more and more confident within themselves, and Alabama getting it felt like less and less confident outside of a couple of players that were making plays. So South Carolina and LaNorris Sellers a little bit of the same way. It's almost like you get to exhale a little bit because you got that first big win in a neutral site game on a Sunday afternoon out of the way. And now you can sort of move forward and try to play as confidently as possible. So I'm excited to see Sellers moving forward. I'm glad he got that dub to start the season. Look, I got to talk about my boy Jalon Daniels.
You're back.
I never left. I never left.
He's dangerously entering Catalan range.
100% he is.
But it's okay.
100% he is. These are my guys who are going for doctorate sons when it comes to draft prospects here. Jalen
Tyler
Catalan.
Shuck parlayed it into being a top 50 pick.
Yeah, it can be done. It can be. I don't know if we're getting a top 50 pick out of Jalon Daniels, but the quarterback from Kansas is so much fun, man. And look, yes, count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is his 6th season of college football. But I will say this: he had his true freshman season, which was not great. He had a 38.2 passing grade his true freshman season when he was at Kansas. The other 5 seasons, the most recent 5, even through the injuries and even with him, playing hurt and missing time, he never finished with a season-long passing grade below 72. Right. And this year, right now, through 2 games, now I understand it's Fresno State and it's Wagner. I get it. But he has an 85.7 passing grade through those 2 games, which is the highest of his career. He has 7 passing touchdowns and 1 interception. He's got a 4.2 big-time throw percentage and a 2.0 turnover-worthy play percentage. Those numbers are really good to start the season. And most importantly, this guy is playing confidently, and it looks like his back is healthy. That's the big issue with him. I remember watching Jalon Daniels last year play through a back injury. And I remember saying to you on this show, if that's what we get with this guy having a hurt back, I will let him sit for a year and let him get his back right. And now I think that we're seeing a very confident football player. He's got that rushing ability to him as well. He had a bomb of a touchdown where he threw it 65 yards in the air. Somebody in the comments who, I don't know who this was, it was talking like it was a friend of his, basically like, I know you got 70 in you, because it was 65 yards from Jalon Daniels. He didn't step into it. That was I'm standing here. That was a big step into the throw, but it's not like, you watch some of these guys get a running head start to get the ball 65, 70 yards down the field. That wasn't Jalon Daniels. That's not what he needed. So I think he's got great arm talent. Is he short? Yeah, he's 6 feet tall. You got to think about that with him being an NFL quarterback. He's 220 pounds, though, so he's got some muscle. He's got some size on him. He's got an NFL arm. He has a playmaker's mentality. I am not giving up on Jalon Daniels. I don't care how old he is. You mentioned Tyler Shuck parlayed it into a top 50 pick. I don't know if Jalon Daniels will, but man, the way that he's been throwing the ball early, I'm here to say I'm not ready to give up on him. I still love this dude. He has been one of my favorite quarterbacks to watch in college football for the last 3 or 4 years. And with this, his final eligible season in college football, it looks like he might be putting his best foot forward, which is exciting to watch.
And even so, he's 22 right now. So you don't sit there and look at him as
no way.
Yes.
He's only 22?
Yes, he doesn't turn 23 until the end of October. Unless the internet's lying, and the internet has never lied before.
The internet's got to be lying, because that means he would have been 17 in 2020.
Braylon Allen was a 17-year-old in college.
I guess.
Bryce Underwood turned 18 basically right before he played his first college game for Michigan the other day. It does happen.
Which, by the way,
we're
2 years away from that kid.
We're going to talk about him during Stock Up, not him. I have somebody on his team, but I did it. It's probably out by the time people are listening to this. I did a tape breakdown, and I don't usually do my NBC tape breakdowns on non-eligible guys. I had to with him because it was just like,
young man's got a cannon.
Yeah, the young fella might be able to play a little football.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
Yeah. So if that's accurate, Jalon Daniels is a younger 6th-year senior.
Yeah.
That's a good sign.
Great. Look, any kind of propaganda
I'm trying to help your narrative.
Of propaganda you got,
yes,
I'll take it. You're right. The internet's never been wrong.
Yeah. He was just he's a genius, and he got to college at 15 years old. That's what we're telling people. You
know how, like, in the EPL, you'll like watch a guy and he'll sub in, and they'll be like, "Oh, this forward's 16, and he's already in the EPL." Dude, that was Jalon Daniels. That was Jalon Daniels at Texas.
as a very, very casual football watcher, and by that I mean really largely international play.
Yeah.
It blows my mind when that happens. And it happens a lot. People that are be like, that guy's 16. I'm like, how? He's playing with grown men. It's ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. All right. One more quarterback from me, and we're gonna have plenty of back and forth conversations. I know you have two more as well.
Yes, I got two more.
I want to talk about Nussmeier still, even though, I mean, it doesn't.
Can't.
It can't do it.
Nope.
It doesn't feel like last week really moved the needle one way or the other, but this is the guy that he's firmly in round one, man. Like Garrett Nussmeier.
Question.
Garrett, if the draft was today, I think he'd be the first overall pick if the team picking first needed a quarterback. That deep throw that ended up not counting was
the one to Marion Brown? Yeah.
Was gorgeous.
Yep.
But with Nussmeier,
you can't throw a fade like that any better.
Oh my goodness. With Nussmeier, I mean, because you walk away from the day with, 232 yards, 1 touchdown. Everyone's like, okay, that's against Clemson, number 1, which we talk about multiple top picks on that defense. And it's not just in the secondary with Avion Terrell. It's the two fellas up front as well.
Yep.
I mean, Peter Woods is my top player going into the year. But also...
Dude, Peter Woods, DeMonte Capehart, TJ Parker.
It's crazy.
Sammy Brown at the linebacker level. Avion Terrell. Like, that defense is stacked.
Loaded.
Stacked.
I just like Nussmeier's feel, control, poise. He really, and I know this could be a boring cliche, but this is somebody that, and this is basically the highest compliment you maybe can give a college quarterback in this era of football. He really understands how to play the position. He really does. And he's got enough physical ability as a thrower of why he'll be regarded that way. So maybe I'm buying into my own bias because I liked him so much coming into the season. But that was a game where the box score won't blow you away, but watching the game and then watching the film back, I really, really like Garrett Nussmeier. I think throughout the pre-draft process, somebody is going to look at him and go, can he kind of be and I'm not comparing him to this player, but how the Lions offense is a high-octane passing offense with Jared Goff. I think people are going to look at Garrett Nussmeier and say, we can have a high-octane passing offense with Garrett Nussmeier. We don't always need that dynamic rushing threat all the time.
High-octane's probably my favorite phrase to describe what Garrett Nussmeier brings to the table. I know that it wasn't a perfect day from him, 65.7 passing grade, but the man was asked to throw the ball 41 times. He had, where was his adjusted completion percentage? Must have been over 70 because the regular completion percentage was like 68.5.
I think even higher, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Whoa, this can't be right. Time to throw 2.09? That can't be right.
This is exactly what I'm talking about, though. When you watch him, you don't even need to go to the All-22. It's nice to see the other reads and progressions. But when you watch this guy play on a broadcast, I think the casual fan can see how he plays the position literally like a pro.
Yes.
And I believe that number.
He plays the position as if his dad was an offensive coordinator. That's how I would explain it.
Right. For an NFL team, maybe.
For an NFL team, yes. That's how I would explain it. Dude,
do you think his dad, Doug, if the Saints hit a rough patch this year, and I think they're favored in one game going into the year, do you think Doug's going to walk into the coaches meeting if they're like 1-10 and go, well, we'd be 500 if my son was the quarterback instead of these bums? He might. And he might not be wrong.
And he wouldn't be wrong.
Yeah.
And he would not be wrong. It says 2.09 average time to throw, which is bananas if that's actually true.
You're very skeptical of the internet today. You don't believe Jalon Daniels is 22. You don't believe Nussmeier's time to throw. Yeah, you're doing your own research over there.
Yeah, why don't you look up the Denver airport while we're at it?
This podcast, it's never been more over.
Stay woke. All right, so I want to talk about the quarterback who was on the other side of that LSU and Clemson game. I do want to talk about Cade Klubnik because for as much as it was great to see Garrett Nussmeier get the win, well, depending on who you were rooting for, it was great to see Garrett Nussmeier play well. I probably should have said that. I wasn't necessarily rooting for LSU, but I was rooting for these quarterbacks to play really well. I don't think that Cade played poorly. But I don't think that he sees the moment the way that Nussmeier did, even though their passing grades aren't too different. Cade had a 51.8 passing grade against LSU, one big-time throw, one turnover-worthy play. Going back and watching that game from him, the part that worry seems like a strong word again, because he's got like the whole season, and then even now, like we talk about these guys as if they're finished products, and they're not. But right now, Klubnik was not able to either respect or see the safeties from LSU the way that he needed to. There were multiple times in that game where he would have the correct numbers to one side, and he wouldn't. Now, I understand, like, sometimes the play is not designed for him to look that direction, but pre-snap, he would have seen, like, there was a specific play where I think he had trips to his right, and it was the boundary side of the field. So it was the short side of the field, and he had 3 receiving options to his right. There were enough defensive backs on that side of the field to account for all 3 of the options, and then there was a safety over top. So the defense had numbers to that side of the formation. And not only that, the safety was firmly on the hash marks of the field side, of the short side of the field. So the safety didn't even have to move a lot to get over the top of whatever vertical route was coming. And it was a bit of an out route. It was like a curled out route from, I believe, the number 2 wide receiver in the formation, if I remember it correctly. And not only is the wide receiver not really open, the safety very, very easily was over top and closing on this player, and Cade threw it that way. And he's lucky that I think it just went out of bounds, or it was a pass defended. It was lucky because it could have been intercepted. And there were a couple more plays where you could tell the play was designed for it to be a little bit of a quick in, like a slant, or even like a 7-yard post or something. But the safety pre-snap was right there and sort of like knew it was coming, and Cade kept trying to force it in that direction. There was one time where there was a deep seam route against a single high coverage safety where it's like, hey, middle of the field's not open. Because the way that you could talk about it is, if there's 2 deep safeties, then they often call that middle of the field open, because obviously like one safety would have to shift over to make sure that they're closing the middle of the field in between the hash marks. If there is a single high safety, you would call that middle of the field closed. Now, obviously things can move pre and post snap, and depending on what the coverage assignment is for that play, the safeties can move, the assignments can move. So it's not like the middle of the field is always going to be open or closed, but you can identify that in the pre-snap. And there were times when Cade was looking at the safety pre-snap, but he didn't respect it, or he wasn't comfortable getting off script the way that he wanted to. And that's really how I sort of encapsulate what I thought of him in that game. I didn't feel like he was very comfortable or wanted to get off the script as much as LSU demanded him to in this game. And I think his passing grade under pressure below 50 also showcases that. So that's a little bit of my reservation with Cade Klubnik anyways. If he's going to be a shorter stature quarterback prospect with what I think would be an okay NFL arm,
right,
you've got to be able to process things at a very, very high level. Like, that's what Brock Purdy does really well, right? Yes. Purdy is elite at this point at recognizing things pre-snap, knowing where to go with the football. And even though he isn't the biggest quarterback in the world or has the best arm talent in the world, he can layer and touch throw the football exactly where he needs to, because he understands what the defense is trying to throw at him. That's what Klubnik needs to be. He wasn't quite that against LSU, and I honestly think that that's why LSU was able to get the win in the end. So plenty of time for him to improve, plenty of time for him to improve in that area in the NFL as well once he gets there. But that is a little bit of why I'm still a little bit lower on Cade Klubnik and what I saw from him on Saturday.
Yeah, I totally get it. I was a little higher on him than you, and I have my concerns. You know, once again, being a smaller quarterback and the ways he's going to have to win at the next level, like you highlighted, is something that he's going to have to showcase on the college field this year in the bigger games. That's a lot of the questions around Klubnik right now. And, you know, you didn't get a lot of those answers in week 1, to be honest with you. And he's going to have to show it at some point this season, because Clemson's going to be playing in a lot of big games with how much talent they have, despite the early loss.
Yep. Last guy for me that I'm going to shout out, Fernando Mendoza, now at Indiana. He was at Cal, now he's at Indiana. He had a 61.4 passing grade this past weekend in Indiana's win. 1 big-time throw, 1 turnover-worthy play. Noteworthy, just a 51.2% completion percentage from Fernando Mendoza. You know, when you and I watched him and talked about him over summer scouting, it felt like the way that I think some other people in the scouting community talk about him, I was a little... Oh man, again, disappointed seems harsh of a word, but I thought I would see more from him. I really did, watching his Cal tape. But I will say, despite that it was a 1 big-time throw, 1 turnover-worthy play, and near 50% completion percentage kind of a day, Connor, I think Fernando Mendoza is going to get drafted high. Now, I don't know where I'm going to have him in my rankings. I don't know where you're going to have him in your rankings. Obviously, we were lower on him than I think a lot of the other draft community is. And for reasons of inconsistency and putting the ball in harm's way. I think he had more turnover-worthy plays last year than he had big-time throws. That style was still prevalent in his first game of this season with Indiana. However, the arm talent is there for him. I watched him complete multiple opposite hash mark out route to the sideline throws. I watched him perfectly time a sail concept to hit the middle receiver as he was going to the sideline. I just saw him understand, attempt, and complete NFL throws in week 1 that I went, God, the league's just going to draft this guy high. Mm-hmm. Like, I get it. I don't know where I'm going to have him when it's all said and done, but he does the NFL throws already. And I think that a lot of NFL teams are going to look at it and be like, I don't care if it's inconsistent. I've seen him do it. So I'll take him in the top 60 because that's where I feel like his projection is right now. I
am in no way comparing him to this player, but exactly what you just said and watching the tape against Old Dominion, his first game for Indiana, that is the Daniel Jones kind of feel, right? And Daniel Jones had some good moments with the Giants, and things didn't work out there ultimately how he hoped, and now he's got a second chance as a starter with the Colts. But Mendoza is big. He's got a strong arm. I think it's weird. He was effective in this game as a runner, but he's a clunky scrambler. There's a difference.
He kind of is.
When there's a designed run, he gets north and gets what they need on the call. When he scrambles, he's got a little bit of like the big shoulder pad Mac Jones feel. And once again, sometimes it works. But he's definitely an interesting watch as a scrambler. I know he had the 1 turnover worthy. Number 1, the best throw, the only big time throw was the bomb that was inexplicably dropped. That was a beautiful throw.
Yeah, it was.
I love that you called out, the outside the numbers throws because those stood out to me. The 1 turnover worthy play in our system was, I don't know what he was thinking. He lobs up a punt to 3 guys, and on Old Dominion, they wanted it so badly.
I was going to say, that was a triple coverage one,
right?
They
all wanted it, yes. They all wanted it so badly, they bowling pinned each other, and nobody got it. But then this is the one that was actually worse to me. He had one in the second quarter. They're only up by 3. It's 2nd and 5 at the 5. So this is red zone. Mm-hmm. He drops back. He scrambles from a clean pocket, which is college quarterbacks do that all the time. Old Dominion wisely has the middle linebacker spying him. So when he leaves the pocket, the spy goes right after him. If he stays in the pocket, the protection's good because I think it's a 3-man rush. The spy goes after him when he leaves the pocket, and as the spy is wrapping him up at about the 7, he's about halfway to the ground.
Oh, he throws it.
And he throws it.
Yeah.
And honestly, he is very lucky it was not a red zone interception.
Thought the same thing.
It was a bad decision. It's the decisions that I did not like over the summer watching him at Cal. But I agree with you. Mendoza's going to have these weeks where we go, that's what an NFL quarterback prospect looks like. He's big. He's got a good arm. In this day and age, there's enough you could do with him on the short area designed runs at the goal line or even to get a 3rd and 4. But there's a lot of clunkiness in between. This was not a good level of competition. The Big Ten is a bloodbath this year. Mm-hmm. They are in this crazy, like everybody expects Ohio State, rightfully so, Oregon, Penn State to make the college football playoff. Then you have Michigan's around plus 200. Illinois and Indiana are plus 500. They're trying to be that 4th team. you're going to see some really tough defenses to get over that hump, which is a great opportunity for Mendoza, but hopefully he's up to speed and playing at that level to capitalize on it. I still have my concerns. I do.
Yep, I do too. And we had the exact same thoughts coming out of watching that tape. I just the continuous thought that I had is, God, the league's going to draft this guy high.
Yeah, I think they'll love him.
I think they will. Whether or not he's close to complete as a prospect or not, that's why I don't know where he's going to be for us, but it is worth talking about him in that regard. We're going to talk a little bit more about quarterbacks when we get to some of you guys' tweets and some shout outs that you had, but that's the quarterback carousel for us here on week 1 of the Stock Watch. Before we get to our stock update on some stock up, stock down players, this PFF betting segment is brought to you by our friends over at DraftKings. If you pull up the beautiful DraftKings Sportsbook app, you can see all the lines, the player props, all of that great stuff. Of course, the lines are subject to change from when we're talking about it here on this show. But Connor, for another little parlay that we got in the NFL this week, everybody loves a good parlay. Dude, I get that it's in Buffalo, but the Ravens get 1.5. Anytime Lamar Jackson gets 1.5, I'm taking Lamar Jackson. I'm just kidding. Because here's the thing: you probably think that's a coin flip game, anyways, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I'll take the points. I'll take the 1.5.
Actually, they are literally telling you it is, because this is a common misconception. Home field advantage is actually closer to 1.5. So
don't people normally think that it's 3?
Everybody says 3. It's not.
Yeah, typically. I was going to say that feels like it's too high.
That's a lot of points just for playing at home. It's about 1.5, depending on where and everything. It could be up to 2. So they are telling you what they think of these teams, evenly matched.
Yeah, so I like
Ravens. You don't know my fun one to add to our parlay?
Yeah, what do you got?
You come out with the absolute firecracker. I'm here to give you Steelers Jets under 38.5 points.
Yeah,
nobody wants to throw the ball in this game. Nobody wants to throw the ball. Justin Fields and the Jets. The Jets are not going to throw the ball. Their 53-man roster right now has 4 tight ends and a fullback.
No.
Yes, it does.
Way.
Yes, it does. They are carrying Mason Taylor, Jeremy Ruckert, Jelani Woods, Andrew Beck is the fullback, and Stone Smart is the third or fourth tight end.
Oh, Aaron Glenn.
And Aaron Rodgers doesn't typically play a lot in the preseason. We haven't seen much of him this summer. It's Arthur Smith. I think the Steelers were 4th in rushing attempts last season. They're not going to get away from that. I love this line. Under 38.5 points.
Even if the game's like 24-7.
And guess what, Trevor? It might fucking rain.
38.5. Oh, boy. That's low. But I can see it. Hey, if you take our 2 wagers right there, you're 2/3 of the way into a 3-leg parlay. And that matters because this year, don't let one bad leg haunt your parlays. Parlays turn into payouts, of course, and now even near misses won't haunt your bet. The NFL season is here, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is rewriting the rules with Ghost Leg, a new game-changing promotion that turns close calls into cold hard cash. Best of all, it's available to all DraftKings customers. Here's how it works. You build any 3-leg pregame NFL parlay on Sundays, apply it to your Ghost Leg token, and if one leg loses, DraftKings makes it vanish. Poof, like it never even happened. Pays you out in cash for the rest. Last season, over 30 million parlays were lost by a single leg. This year, the Ghost Leg gives those busted bets a second life. Oh, I don't have a specific example off the top of my head, but all I can say is that I was one of those 30 million. So, you know what? This sounds pretty good to me.
The odds are we probably were.
It's probably true, so I'm excited about this one. No more busted parlays that haunt you all season. With Ghost Leg, the bad leg vanishes, the payout does not. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, use the promo code PFF. That's promo code PFF to unlock Ghost Leg, the promotion that makes one bad leg disappear and pays you out in real cash. Ghost Leg, or ghost your losses, get your payout. In partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. If you got a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problems with gambling. Call 877 897 it's 88. Oh my gosh, I'm an idiot. Call 887
press buttons
897777. There we go. I had to make sure that I got it right.
I need help, and this man won't give me the number.
Alternatively, you visit ccpg.org Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. Fees may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Opt in for single-use token. Minimum 3+ legs and minus 500 odds per leg. Max bet varies. If only one leg of the bet loses, the bet will settle as if only the winning legs were placed and pay out in cash based on odds when the bet was placed. See terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. We made it through. Okay, who is your first
bumpy road
stock update that you want to have here?
How about Texas defensive tackle Cole Brevard? This is...
Never heard of the man.
I didn't watch him this summer. Although,
is this your new name?
No,
or is this your...
This is a stock watch guy.
This is just a fella who deserves a shout out.
This is just a large fella.
Didn't even know what his stock was, but it's up.
6'3", 346 pounds. Before transferring to Texas this year, he played 37 games for Purdue. This man might be one of the best run defending tackles in the entire country of how he played against Ohio State.
What was his grade?
He had a 84.4 run defense grade against Ohio State.
Solid.
He played 18 defensive snaps against the run. He only had 4 pass rush snaps. Trevor, 18 snaps against the run. In our system, there's positively graded plays where it's you made a significant difference in a great way on that play. He did that on 39% of his run snaps against Ohio State. It's not like everybody else is out there. He was eating double and triple teams. This guy, he is a wall against the run, Cole Brevard. I was like, I'm watching the game. I'm like, and I know a lot of the story, rightfully so, is about Ohio State's defense and how much Arch struggled. But I'm watching this game. I'm like, this Texas defense is keeping them in it. These guys up front are fighting their ass off right now. They got a transfer from Purdue, who's a one-man wrecking crew against the run. Cole Brevard, he is as strong as they come. And he is, I don't even know if he's really, he might be 6'2", and he is a legitimately 340-plus pounds. They have him listed 346. This dude plays low to the ground, and you cannot move him. You can't move him. Think that Poona Ford style football.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a great watch.
This sounds like our week 1 meat fabric
100%.
player of the 100.
Week. The meat fabric meat umbrella player of the week.
Of course, MEAT for the meat fabric player of the week, Cole Brevard. All right,
this fella.
I watch him.
I owe you an apology. I was not familiar with your game, young man.
Was not familiar with your girth. Pause. Okay, so
either. It's a tree stump at the One Tech.
I think that I will stay along the beef train then, and shout out your boy, somebody who we talked about in the top 10 of our mock draft on Monday, Ruben Bain Jr. from Miami.
Oh, the Bain train.
I mean, this guy was giving them boys hell out there this past weekend.
Stop the fight.
He was giving Notre Dame hell. 92.6 overall grade against Notre Dame, 90.6 run defense grade, 82.5 pass rush grade. The thing that impresses me the most about Ruben Bain isn't just like the overall grades, but it's how he plays. This young man is forklift certified, meaning that he wins with leverage every single play to just forklift these offensive linemen that weigh way more than him. I mean, some of these offensive linemen, this is somebody who will play on the edge. He can play everything from a wide 9, he can play a wide 7, he can play a head-up 5 technique defensive end. You can kick him inside to a 4-eye, you can kick him inside to a 3 technique defensive tackle. And the reason why he's able to hold up in all of those situations and win in all of those situations is because, first and foremost, he plays with great pad level to forklift these offensive linemen up and on their heels, even though they outweigh him and might have some more mass and strength than he does. He wins with the technique that way. And then, Connor, when I watch this guy rush from a 5, 7, or 9 technique, I don't know if I want to call it bend, because I don't know if it's necessarily bend, because he's a bigger defensive end.
I agree.
But he turns the corner.
He does. He knows how to corner. I don't think he has legitimate
not bend,
like flexibility bend.
No, but
there is a skill level of cornering.
It is the tightest corner as well. Like, he will. The thing that I like a lot about Ruben Bain is he wins with his hands a lot. So what he will do is, whether it is like with a, arm over kind of swim move, or maybe it's a two-handed swipe, or maybe it's like a club and a rip, or whatever it is, he is always hugging the outside shoulder of the offensive tackle. Not a matter of if I'm going to beat this offensive tackle to his outside shoulder. It's just a matter of how I'm going to do it and how tight of a corner I'm going to turn when I do it. So he times his moves up so well to where the space in between him and the offensive tackle, when he is turning the corner and getting around the pocket to the quarterback, is so small. And guys, that is by design. That is an art. You work on that. You train for that. So sort of, of course, like some of it is, natural athletic ability, but he is also very clearly mastering his craft of how to get to the quarterback as quickly as possible. So he was great in run defense. He was great as a pass rusher. Ruben Bain Jr., this is a top 10 player in the class right now. Yeah. I think he is a top 10 player, and we drafted him at number 9 overall to the Cowboys in the mock draft to show that. He's a stud, man. He really is.
Well, you gave a little love to a player that I couldn't get enough of this summer. I'm going to shout out you because during our tight end episode, you shouted out Marlon Klein, the tight end at Michigan.
From tight end U.
Tight end U, the actual nation of Germany.
Yes.
They just keep pumping out tight end prospects at an alarming rate, folks. It is unbelievable. Marlon Klein was awesome in Michigan's opener. He is 6'6". He's got an incredible catch radius that he knows how to use. I think he is developing and learning how to compete as a blocker. And that is really, really going to change the type of prospect he ultimately will be. But right now, it's all about the receiver he is. And I thought Klein showed Trevor that he can run the seam, he can get over the top of linebackers, and he knows how to tempo himself where he doesn't crash into the safeties. Once again, he uses his catch radius. There was one play that Underwood was a little backed up, and Klein does a chip and release. And Underwood knows he has to get, 18-year-old knows he has to get the ball out or else he's in danger of taking a safety. And he floated one. I mean, it's a real loft throw. It's it's really high up in the air right over the coverage. And Klein's extension on this catch was awesome. And he's got juice after the catch for a big man. He's a good athlete.
He was so intriguing when I watched him this summer because I looked at him and I was like, dude, there is more potential there for you as an athlete.
In an offense that could actually throw the football now, I think Marlon Klein's going to have an awesome year.
Yep. I love the shout out there. I think that he is, we mentioned, it might not be the most star-studded tight end class, but it feels like a tight end class where there's round 2, round 3, round 4. There's just multiple of these guys that are taken. And even guys on day 3 that you'll take a chance on. Like Marlon Klein, Oscar Delp. Like Oscar Delp finally had I'm never wrong, just early. Finally had a good receiving day. It wasn't a heavy volume day, but they threw him the ball. He was effective, and it was a good receiving grade. But like even guys like that, you're drafting those guys mid to late day 3. And we'll see how much better they can get this upcoming season. So very excited about this tight end class. Love that you're giving Marlon Klein and Germany tight end U another shout out here. I'll stick at the receiver portion of things with Carnell Tate. This is a stock up for Carnell Tate. I think it has to be. He was the only guy on Ohio State's team to have a receiving grade above 70. He had a 73.1 receiving grade this past weekend. It was like most of that game. It was kind of a slugfest of offenses that were really not in sync. They really weren't in tune. They weren't in midseason form, if you will. So they were figuring it out. But when you watch Carnell Tate and how he moves, specifically one of the reps that he had where he caught the ball at the sideline, I quote tweeted this on Twitter on Saturday. The way that he gets out of his release, eats up the cushion, chops his feet, turns and flips his hips to create that separation, comes back to the ball, catches it extended with 2 hands, and then toe taps the sideline.
It was beautiful
to make the catch. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. That's a master class. Like, that is somebody who very clearly is winning at this position with athleticism and IQ. I think I was lower on Carnell Tate when we went through our wide receiver episode, simply because I almost just wanted to see more. Yeah. Like, I know he has more in him, and I probably was unfairly comparing him to what I think he could be versus where he was last season. And even just in week 1, we saw some more flashes of that. So Ohio State's got another one. It's not just Jeremiah Smith. They've got Carnell Tate this year as well. It's a absolute factory up there in Columbus, Ohio. And Carnell Tate, I think is the more comfortable, more aggressive, more confident Julian Sayin gets a quarterback, you're only going to see more of that production there from Carnell Tate. And so I'm a fan of his. I'm slowly getting back up to probably where I should have been with Carnell Tate, but a really good first showing for him against a really good secondary in the Texas Longhorns.
Yeah, it was a really good test. Tate looked the part. Obviously, I thought Julian Sayin being able to get that ball to him was very impressive. The play you were talking about along the sideline, and Tate showed you, like many Ohio State wide receivers, his attention to detail is very, very high. He's an intelligent, gifted wide receiver. I'll go with another big school player here, and there'll be a lot of that in the beginning, and we'll get even deeper in the weeds along the season, although I have a small school player for when we bring a new name to the table. But Whit Weeks, the linebacker at LSU, man, I just love the way this dude plays. The play speed, the IQ. There was a play where Klubnik ran a quarterback draw, and I think it was, if it wasn't empty, it was one running back. But LSU looks like they're bringing a lot of pressure from the outside, and Weeks recognizes the draw almost like a sixth sense and fills back inside and stops the play. But he also had, I think, 3 quarterback hurries, and they were play-altering because of his closing speed. He was able to move Klubnik and really stop him from being able to make a play. This is just the guy that plays 140 miles an hour all the time. You feel him in the game nonstop, whether he's chasing the quarterback, see ball, get ball. It's pretty obvious why Whit Weeks is mentioned with the top linebackers in this draft.
I don't know if you saw the Netflix show Any Given Saturday. You should. There's a specific SEC Network host that makes a couple of analysis points and cameos there throughout that Netflix series, which you guys should watch. But Whit Weeks is featured heavily. He's just a country dude who loves to play linebacker.
Yeah, he loves it.
All 32 teams in the NFL are going to want this guy. It's just a matter of, is he big enough? Like, is he big enough to play linebacker at the NFL level? I think he'll be fine. He's getting drafted. There's no question about it. It's just a matter of where he gets drafted. He plays a position of relative less importance where, the margin between, what a good linebacker is, a replaceable linebacker is, a day 3 linebacker, like it's smaller just because there's a lot of guys who can do that job. But Whit Weeks does his job very, very well. And both him and Harold Perkins Jr., it was great to see Harold Perkins Jr. flying around like he had been in the past. It feels like he is embracing a little bit more of that true off-ball linebacker role, but they are letting him be an attacking force while doing it. I think they're kind of having him in the role, and I'm not comparing him necessarily as prospects, but they're letting him do sort of what Edgerrin Cooper did, where it's like, okay, your coverage reps, Harold Perkins Jr., are going to be, quick out routes, things to the flat, things that continue to keep things in front of you, which I felt like a lot of what Edgerrin Cooper did when he was at Texas A&M. And then the rest of it was elite run defense stuff where you're just having him trigger downhill against RPOs and green dog blitzes and things like that. So it was great to see Harold Perkins Jr. out there playing well. Him and Whit Weeks seem to have a lot of chemistry and a ton of speed at the second level for LSU. Last guy I'm talking about here in the stock update portion of this show, your boy. I'm giving another one of your guys a shout out here. Cashius Howell from Texas A&M, the edge rusher there. It is a major stock up for me. 83.7 pass rush grade against UTSA, 26.1% pass rush win percentage. He had one of the cleanest cross chop wins you'll ever see. Like, he set up the offensive tackle with his shoulders, and then boom, it's like he almost like he hit the inside foot as if he was going to go inside. And the offensive tackle opened up his hips, and then he immediately planted on that foot and just straight cross-chopped him, and then you could see him immediately just goes into a club to the outside shoulder. The offensive tackle does not have a snowball's chance in hell. Howell gets straight around him, and if the ball didn't come out quick for the quarterback, he might have been broken in half. By God, he would have been broken in half.
My God is my witness. He killed him. So good.
Shout out Jim Ross. So that is, I'm watching this guy play, and the thing that I love about Howell this year and what I saw in game 1, Connor, he definitely looks bigger. he definitely looks like he has put on good weight. He's got an athletic build. He looks bigger. I thought he played a little bit small last year. I thought that, okay, the flexibility kind of wasn't there for him, and I felt like, okay, well, this is a lighter rusher who doesn't play with the best flexibility, but man, the way that he was working his hands, the added strength that he had, and just another year, the technique is better. He can win in all three ways as a rusher. Technique, speed, strength. I really do think this is someone who has the potential to be one of the best pass rushers in this class, and somebody that we talk about as a top 15 pick when it's all said and done. I don't want to get too carried away with it, but like, man, he has the potential. And Cashius Howell, he is a major stock up for me as somebody who had him a little bit lower. I think I had him in the early 40s. I mean, I'm in my most recent big board because I'm sort of adjusting it week to week, and then I'll have a major update probably once every 4 weeks to recheck things. He'll be in the 20s, at least for me. He really will be.
I thought he was the best pass rusher on that team last year. And think of all the draft picks they had.
He is. He's the best pass rusher. If you throw in Nick Gordon, if you throw in Shamar Stewart, if you throw in Shamar Turner, I think Cashius Howell's got the chance to be the best pro out of any of them.
All right, you want the new name?
Before we get to the new name, speaking of new names for your business, when you're out there hiring people, sometimes it's a tough process. Sometimes you think you've got the right process, and you get to the end, you got a handful of candidates, and you go, "Oh man, they're all right," but I just feel like we would have gotten better people in throughout this process for the hiring, and ZipRecruiter helps so much with that. ZipRecruiter can help you find amazing candidates fast. Right now, you can try it for free. ZipRecruiter.com/audio. ZipRecruiter's smart technology will identify top talent for your roles at your company immediately after you post a job. ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology starts to show you qualified people for it. You can find that needle in the haystack when you're going through so many different resumes. You got to first have a process of like, okay, what's the first process of elimination? Who do we want to give interviews to? All of that great stuff ZipRecruiter can help you with. Ditch the other hiring sites and let ZipRecruiter find what you are looking for, that needle in the haystack. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try it for free at this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/audio. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/audio. ZipRecruiter, it is the smartest way to hire. All right, now we got a new name. Who you bringing to the table? Who we got?
Keshan James-Newbie, edge rusher.
Ooh, a hyphen. Love to start with Mexico. A hyphen.
Listen to the road that this guy has taken. He's from Montana, obviously not a recruit. He starts his career at Montana Tech, NAIA football.
Okay.
Second year at Montana Tech, first team all-conference. Gets the transfer up to the FCS, Idaho. Eventually becomes first team All-Big Sky, first team FCS All-American. His 5th year gets the transfer up to FBS, New Mexico. So every level of competition, this guy has passed the test and gotten a transfer up. His last season at Idaho, 10.5 sacks. So now he's at New Mexico. Your first FBS game, welcome to the big house. You get to play against Michigan. I'll tell you what, I was really impressed. He's listed 6'2", 244. He is a lighter edge rusher, a smaller edge rusher. Number one, as a pass rusher, he can bend. He beat the right tackle on a play, and New Mexico hung around this game. Michigan, every time New Mexico got momentum, Michigan was able to respond. But when you watch the first half, you were like, there's no runaway in the first half with this game. Mm-hmm. So that meant Underwood got to actually drop back and throw. There was a rep from James-Newbie, Keshan James-Newbie, if you're looking to watch him, where he beats the right tackle just with pure bend, which I love to see. But the real thing is, when you look at an edge rusher that size, you're like, is he going to get run over against the run? Dude, he set a hard edge against this Michigan offensive line against the run. He battled against the run. He played pretty physical. So this is someone, to me, once again, has taken a really long road to even become the thought of an NFL prospect. First time I ever watched him play, I was like, this guy is going in the spreadsheet, and I want to see if he can make an all-star game and capitalize. Because if you could bend and you could be competitive against the run, then you are going to be on the NFL's radar.
I love it. I don't remember seeing him on any All-Star Bowl watch list, although this Shrine Bowl had the top 1,000, so they they might have him on there. I just don't remember his name, but that's a great shout out. Somebody who obviously has climbed his way up to a great level of competition. And if he continues to ball out, the NFL is absolutely going to notice. So love that shout out there. My new name, I'm going to take us back a little bit. Baylor wide receiver, Cole Wilson. This was the smaller, explosive wide receiver who had over 130 receiving yards against, who did Baylor play? Who did Baylor play in the opener? Come on.
Oh, somebody good. Why is this?
Play?
Why am I absolutely...
Auburn. They played Auburn.
I was going to say, I knew they were actually somebody that actually played a real team.
Yes, yeah.
There's only a few of those this week.
They played Auburn. He had over 130 receiving yards. He had 11 targets. He had 8 receptions, 71 yards after the catch. And despite being 5'9", 171 pounds, still had 2 contested catches on his 2 contested catch chances. So you love to see that as well. Connor, this kid can fly. I think this kid's got the juice. He's played special teams as well. He's a big-time deep threat in his previous stops in college football, which started in Incarnate Word, and then it was Texas State the last couple of years in 2023 and 2024. Now he transfers up to Baylor. And I went back and I watched some of the tape from the Texas State days, and he looks like he's blowing by people. He does. But then he also looked like he was blowing by some Auburn defenders when you were watching that game. And so you love to see that. But the playmaker mentality, the strong hands is something I absolutely love from him. He is somebody who sometimes you get these smaller receivers and they're not always aggressive at the catch point. Sometimes they're just like letting the ball come into their chest and or they're trying to sort of like scoop catch it. They're not really attacking the ball when it's in the air. So many times, Sawyer Robertson wasn't the most accurate that game against Auburn. And there were times when he was getting the ball close, but it was a little off target. And yet, Lil Cole Wilson was just able to pluck the ball out of the air with strong hands, immediately turn upfield and become a playmaker. That's how you get 71 yards after the catch. And so he also, not only did he utilize that speed after the catch, I saw some nice route running chops from him as well. He was using that speed and that body control to create that separation. There were times when he was great at attacking the off coverage, when he was running a slot fade or he was just trying to get vertical, whatever it was, inside or out. And he was always trying to fake the defensive back just to get him to open up their hips a little bit, knowing that he has the speed. If he's able to do that, he's able to get up and by him. So I was really impressed with who he was as a speed wide receiver. Now, somebody who's probably at this point maybe a day 3 guy, but more games like the one against Auburn, and that speed plays at the NFL level. And we're seeing more and more nowadays that if you can run and if you can utilize explosiveness before and after the catch, the NFL is going to draft some of these little wide receivers, these guys who are much smaller when it comes to the percentiles for like height and weight. And especially if you are willing to go up and be aggressive when the ball's in the air, which I felt like Cole Wilson was against Auburn. So that's my shout out for him.
I like it.
Really enjoyed watching him against Auburn.
I like it. And he's got a quarterback, like you said, had some misses in that game. But in theory, Sawyer Robertson's going to be able to get him the ball down the field.
Yes.
Like that's when you look at some limitations that certain prospects have that are out of their hands, that's a really good sign that he is in an offense with a quarterback that, once again, will be able to take some shots.
All right. I feel like I should read some responses and some shout-outs from the good people as well here on some players that were up and down from the stock watch. We had a couple of people. TJ Winger and J-Wack said Mansour Delane, the corner from Virginia Tech, who is now at LSU, had a great game. He had a great game. Yeah, definitely worth shouting him out. Somebody who I felt like Delane could have potentially been a top 100 pick if he would have come out in last year's draft, because he was draft eligible. But
yes,
now he's going to LSU and trying to increase his stock to be a top 50 pick, obviously. But I think it was a really good start from him, so I love that shout out. J-Wack also said Marlon Klein wanted a shout out there as well. So you and him see eye to eye there. Had a couple of people who shouted out Jermaine Matthews, the cornerback from Ohio State, who I did think had a solid day, and I think he had like a 71.7 coverage grade. He had the interception. He also gave up the touchdown.
Right.
And it was, I went back and I watched the film of him, and he's still, a step behind seems harsh, but like he was still reacting instead of anticipating, where he could have been doing the latter. And so it's still a little bit of a work in progress for him, but it was a good game to start. So Jermaine Matthews, the corner from Ohio State, I think is a good shout out there. Cardiac Cats shouting out Jordan Tyson from Arizona State. We kind of talked
Tyson
about him a little
nuclear.
bit.
Yeah.
Dude, Slen is shouting out Jordan Dwyer from TCU, the wide receiver, who was on the receiving end of a lot of great Josh Hoover passes that night. He seems like a stud, and I know that Slen's not the only fan of him. Dalton Wasserman also really likes Dwyer. He thinks he's a very interesting wide receiver, one that he wanted to get on our radar as well. So
Wasn't he a transfer?
Yes, he was at where was he?
I'll look it up because I remember. Yeah, he's another Idaho guy.
Yes, that's it. Yes,
Idaho had him and Newbie. They had a good team last year. That's a problem where you're a good FCS team. You get rated.
Good program.
You get rated in the portal now.
It's true, you do.
Which, I mean, good for those guys to get a shot at a higher level. But, yeah, good call out on Dwyer for sure.
Dude, he had 12 targets, 10 receptions, 147, 6 first down catches.
Yeah, he's just...
He was a beast.
Putting an absolute sword through Bill Belichick. Whatever's left of Bill Belichick.
Oh, tough.
Is it?
I mean, it's only tough because people are going to be annoying about it.
I agree. Okay, I agree. There are a lot of people
are going to be like, "Oh, Bill's. Yeah, it was only Tom Brady." Shut up. He's one of if not the greatest coach in NFL history. Shut up.
It's probably a step too far, but this is the world we live in. Michael Wilbon did a really good long rant on how this is just like the world we live in now, where Arch Manning plays one bad game, everyone's like, "Oh, Arch stinks." Like Bill Belichick, loses his college football debut, and everyone's like, it was always all Brady. we erase so many years of something in one little moment.
That's where we're at.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's the TikTok era. It's your era, man.
My era?
Yeah, you're a TikTok guy. It's
you're younger than me.
45,
are you?
45 seconds. Yeah, I think by a very small margin.
I was gonna say.
By a very small margin.
Call me TikTok generation. Lou wants me to shout out Denai Dennis Stutton, the edge rusher from Penn State, who, Connor, I don't know if you caught this, 96.7 run defense grade this past game.
Yeah, he was getting a lot of love. I had a lot of people tweeting at us, rightfully so. They're like, you guys got to talk about this guy. And I'm like, we did during summer scouting, but now if he keeps this up, because Penn State's going to, in theory, be very, very good this year. So it's just like every time one goes off to the NFL, he looks at the next guy up and goes, you now have my powers. Micah Parsons, Abdul Carter, and there's been a lot of other guys along the way. But
he also had an 85.4 passer grade.
He terrorized the entire game.
He had a 30% passes win percentage this game?
Yeah. What did he go, 3 for 9?
10 pass rush reps.
I was close.
You were actually pretty close. So, yeah, you were pretty close there.
He was 3 for 10.
I will say that the run defense numbers are a little overinflated because he had 2 forced fumbles that he punched out, which I'm not taking it away from him.
No,
but
you did that. You are God.
It's not like he was, choke slamming somebody like Kane in the center of the ring and a run defense rep and then grabbing the running back with the other hand. So it wasn't quite doing that, and sort of boosting it up by the forced fumbles a little bit. But it is still a good shout out.
Peter Woods was basically doing that in the game. He would just, when he didn't want to be blocked anymore, he chose not to be blocked anymore. He just
went full Sith Lord and just put out both of his arms and just grabbed the offensive tackle or the offensive guard in the center.
Yes.
Bears fan said, up Keldrick Falk from this past weekend, down Caden Green. Oh, I didn't watch Caden Green.
I didn't either. I have one shout out.
Okay.
Miller Moss, who is now Louisville's quarterback.
Yes.
Had the rare big time throw that was intercepted. I think it's one of the best throws I watched from the weekend because I wanted to watch Chris Bell in that offense. And we talked about Miller Moss during summer scouting. I'm going to keep up with him as well.
I was about to ask, where is he now? I totally forgot.
Louisville. And Miller Moss had one of the best throws of the weekend. It's a deep shot down the sideline.
I'm looking it up right
now. The
now.
wide receiver has a step on the coverage. It lands right in his hands. And as he's going to the ground, the ball pops out of him up into the defender. But it's a beautiful throw down the field that is inexplicably an interception. And his other interception was a tipped pass. So he had two of the worst interceptions in the box score that you'll see, because he graded out very, very. I mean,
I just watched it.
I mean, it is hilarious,
dude. He had hold on a second.
He had a very good.
Look,
game.
I like Miller Moss.
Miller Moss went off. Yeah,
he had some nice throws.
Dude, he was chucking that thing.
91.7 pass rush grade this past game. We might have to talk about him next.
Yeah, I wanted to give him a little love at the end because I knew we had a jam-packed quarterback carousel. If Miller Moss does any of that again, he's in the quarterback carousel combo again.
Okay,
good for him.
Good for Miller. Hey, it's good. Like, it's good money if you can get it. It's good Miller Moss money.
It's really good Miller Moss money. I know there's not another Miller Moss out there running some tech company. There might be. Let's go to the tail of the tape.
There could be. Let's see. Himothy McCarthy on Twitter.
That's
Love
really
that.
good.
Shouting out Amari Washington, the defensive lineman from Oregon. I need to watch him to get him on the board. I haven't watched him yet.
Yeah, he's another guy that I need to catch up on as well.
Io Maynor Enthusiast is this guy's Twitter name.
Good
Love
time
that,
to be one.
Obviously. Great time to be one.
Starting wide receiver.
Top 5 wide receiver in the 2025 NFL draft class. Don't you ever forget it.
Oh, he's gonna.
He says Rocco Beck, by the way. It's a little stop.
Rocco Beck played very nice game of ball.
He has played very well.
He's just completely in control. Rocco Beck.
Oh, okay. Let's end the conversation with this one. Julia said Carson Beck looked more like his 2023 self. I thought Carson Beck looked good.
That's a really good sign.
But I also don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. There were also, to me, he was the exact same Georgia quarterback. The good and the bad was all still there for Carson Beck.
Right.
And it happened to be, in my opinion, a day where he had a little bit more good than he had bad. But I saw a little bit of both of those things from him in week 1. So obviously nice for him to have more good than bad to start the season, but it's not he's not Carson Beck. We're not having him as QB1 or anything yet. So that's what I thought of him when I rewatched the tape.
We really need, and correct me if I'm wrong, we really need a good NFL quarterback that has at least one arm sleeve tattoo.
Yeah, 100%.
It doesn't. I can't think of one.
100%.
Am I missing an obvious?
Well, it's going to be Mateer.
It's going to be Mateer.
It's going to be Mateer.
It is. Yeah, Mateer's got the best chance.
By the way, I just watched. Hold on, I have to look up his name because I have to be able to look up the pronunciation to get this right. Give me a second. It's Wake Forest redshirt senior right tackle.
Okay.
The way you say his name is Fa'ile Fa'amoe. Is how you say his name. He is from Pago Pago, American Samoa, which is
That's offensive line.
Francis Mauigoa was also from American Samoa, so it's kind of crazy.
No, they have.
You get two
they
guys
have
in
an American
class.
football program now.
Anyways,
by the way, Lamar Jackson, the greatest quarterback of all time, that is tatted up.
Where did that come from?
I was saying I said we really need more quarterbacks to succeed that have full sleeves.
You're saying
I didn't want to.
When you said sleeve, I thought you meant a shooter sleeve. You mean a tattoo sleeve?
Yeah, I mean Carson Beck's got the full double.
Yeah,
Lamar's tatted up, but really, there's not a lot of guys.
What we really need is Bo Nix.
Yes, Bo Nix needs an arm sleeve.
Bo Nix needs a multi-layered tat sleeve that like tells his entire football journey on his arm. Like it's different, you know, the struggles at Auburn, the redemption at Oregon, and now like rising with the Broncos, you know, running across the field.
You might have cooked. Let's see if he goes for it.
Let's see if he
Something
goes
tells
for
me
it.
Bo Nix is not going to be into that.
Bo, hit us up. We would love for you guys to hit us up as well in the comments section. YouTube.com/@NFL Stock Exchange. The best way to get in the conversation on the show. We heard from some of you guys on Twitter, but we're going to be doing this every single Stock Watch. We want you guys to be a part of the show as well. So we're going to save some time at the end of every single Stock Watch episode to shout out some of the guys that you guys shouted out. It's a great way for you guys to get in the show. It's a great way for us to keep tabs on some of the players that you may have watched from your favorite school that we maybe didn't get eyes on. So best way to do that is in the comment section. Make sure you guys are doing that. And then, of course, following the show on social, at NFLSC Show on Twitter, on Instagram, on Twitter, all of that good stuff. We're going to be ramping up the shorts very soon to make sure that all those channels are really active. If you want to follow our personal pages, at Tampa Bay Trey, at Connor J. Rogers, that's the best way to do that. Go buy a hat, please.
If you'd like.
I mean, if you like, but also at gunpoint. Go buy a hat. We're excited to have those. Obviously, we are very, very grateful that you guys love this show enough to want to buy merch, to be completely honest.
Yes.
With you. To wear the NFLSC logo as a hat and to get to tell people when they go like, oh, that's a cool, like, the arrow logo. What is that? And you get to tell them about NFLSC. It's awesome.
I'm getting it tattooed.
It's really cool. Bo Nix is getting it tattooed.
Is getting tattooed.
As part of the sleeve.
Story.
As part of the sleeve. Because I believed in him. No, hold on, wait.
You
that
are
actually checks out. That actually
are.
checks out. He's going to have my full scouting report on the arm. You know how some people have like the 10 commandments like right here on the shoulder?
It's just
He's going to get my scouting summary right there on the shoulder.
Oh man, I got to talk Michael Penix into this. This would be a really good bit on the show.
That is true. That could be that. You know, we could work that out. We could see if that could happen. But we love and appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. This is the last episode that we got this week, obviously. But enjoy the NFL getting kicked off. College football, of course, on Saturday, and we're going to be back on Monday to talk about all of that and so much more. For Connor Rogers, I'm Trevor Sikkema saying thank you guys so much once again for watching the NFL Stock Exchange Show. We'll see you next week.